Joyce is emerging from the shadows of the British heavyweight division in something that we can speculate being power versus force. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua versus Joyce. According to recent tweets by Anthony Joshua and Joyce, Joshua states, "Laugh out loud, okay. I've shared this ring with most people you see in the heavyweight division today. I boxed Otto Wallin twice as youngsters, and I boxed Joe and stopped him in one round. I do the same thing today. Ain't nothing changed." Joyce's reply, "And you having a meltdown. Where's all your belts? All those sponsorships and endorsements helping? You're a glass cannon. Quit the hype." Listen, man, this is the funny thing about Joyce and Joshua. The two men are coming from the same country. They're battling in the same division. These two fighters are on a collision course, even though Joshua's people is currently trying to make a deal with Jermaine Franklin for his next fight. Joyce is stepping out of the shadows. Joshua's current record of 24-3 with 22 KOs paired up against Joyce's record of 15-0 with 14 KOs tells us that Joshua has more ring experience, possibly round experience. But there is something coming on about Joyce. And this has us at that title of the irresistible force against the immovable object. The irresistible force is Joyce. The immovable object is Anthony Joshua, because Joshua's fan base has placed him in a position where they've held on to him and they revere him, but he hasn't been as accomplished as advertised, and he hasn't performed against the quality of opponents that people truly would want to see in the heavyweight division. But he has been their man, likable. Now, here comes Joyce stepping out of the shadows with the endurance of a fighter who is more than capable and a granite chin that has been on display in several of his fights. What we are learning is sometimes style, aka Joshua, doesn't equate to substance, aka Joyce. And Joyce is beginning to realize this with his recent victory over Joseph Parker, where he stopped Parker. He now knows that with the struggled battle that AJ had against Parker, and Parker was once the WBO champion, Joyce is realizing, not only do I have a foot on the rung of the ladder, I am capable of climbing to heights not foreseen for myself. And Anthony Joshua, though he has suffered some losses now, he still has boxing ability, but he hasn't put things together. He's a combination puncher when he gets a guy in trouble, but he hasn't put this together. I believe Joshua has lost his footing. Joyce would tell you that he believes Joshua is a different fighter since his loss to Andy Ruiz back in June 2019. That might be true to a small extent, but I also believe the lack of fighting quality opponents giving him a real threat, a perceived threat, that would make him buckle down and try to train to defeat styles and various types of opponents. That's where Joshua has run into his problems. And one oversight that no one takes much consideration of, Joshua always has trouble with smaller opponents. It's the guys that are his height, if not a bit taller, that he never has trouble with. But anyone under 6'4", he has had difficulty with. See Ruiz, see Alexander Usyk. So therefore, when we look at these two titans, Joshua and Joyce, there may be something at hand that could provide us with the type of heavyweight matchup that we crave. Knockdowns, guys getting in trouble, guys being hurt and staggered, guys even being stopped. That could happen in this fight. Joyce, who has a presence in the ring, would make certain that this becomes a test of wills. Is Joshua ready for a fighter like Joyce right now? I don't believe he is. He has to get his confidence back. But there was a time prior to his losses to both Ruiz and Usyk that Joshua was ascending, but he just didn't take the proper fights. He should have had the showdown with Wilder. He should have had the showdown with Fury. Wilder ended up fighting Fury before Joshua. And now it's just an afterthought between the two of them, Fury and Joshua. So Joyce is the next man up, and he's ready to take his place and state his claim in the heavyweight division. He feels that after the fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, that he should be the next man up for a title shot. And I do not disagree, because I believe that Joyce will provide either winner, either it be Usyk or Tyson Fury. He will provide them with the type of challenge that either of them really may not want at this stage of their careers. Because Joyce, though he's aging, he's getting better. He's 34 years old, 35, forgive me, and he's like a pup in the game. He doesn't have a lot of wear and tear. He doesn't have a lot of abuse, and he seems to be a guy who has shown and displayed athleticism. This is what's needed, and he's the type of talent that can provide this. If he were to face Anthony Joshua, I truly believe Joyce would give him a real go. But it won't be a cakewalk, and Anthony Joshua is a strong fighter himself. He has the type of punching power, unlike what we saw from Joseph Parker, that can put Joyce in danger. Joyce saying to Joshua, "You were handed everything," really speaks about what bubbles under the surface of this man. He understands that a fighter like Joshua, who may have been privileged to receive a lot of the accolades and open doors that he experienced, someone like Joyce is now prepared to kick the door in. And typically boxing fans enjoy that a great deal more. The juggernaut is ready to pounce on the scene of the heavyweight division. And with the lackluster fighters out there, I'm not sure that most are ready for it. What do you think? This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. What do you think about power versus force. The fact that we can get a fight in the future between Anthony Joshua and Joyce, the Juggernaut. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.